I found out that my boyfriend has been cheating on me with his associate, and his daughter has been keeping it a secret, but the tables have turned. Now the affair partner and I are destroying their lives. I, 29 years old, usually stay with my boyfriend Carl, 38 years old, on weekends. He lives with his daughter, 16, when she's in due to joint custody. 7 months ago, he started a company with an associate, Gabby. His contribution to their association was to bring clients but not technical or anything. For the past 5 months he stayed out late while working on their plans. I never had any reason for doubt or suspicion until he went to meet her on a Sunday afternoon. I didn't say anything because I know starting a business requires lots of effort. 2 weekends ago she showed up and berated him for cheating on her. We were hanging out at his place with his family. Gabby showed up knocking at the door while Carl was in the shower. I started getting weirded out when his family seemed hesitant to answer the door. His brother finally went to talk to her, but she walked past him and confronted me. She asked about our relationship. I'll admit that I was a bit rude because I got defensive. It all turned into a she show. At this point I'm disgusted and I don't know who was the real girlfriend and who was the side chick. Also, it's worth noting that she accused his family of betraying her. I broke up with him that same day and haven't been able to find my way back into a good mental state. This is where I might be the asshole. I made the decision to pull my support for his daughter. I had been paying for a makeup subscription box but canceled it. She was getting her prom dress as a loan from a friend of mine. I told my friend what happened, and we agreed that his daughter doesn't deserve any of my help. I also kicked them both out of my streaming services and will not help with the history school project, nor will I keep her in my magazine subscription plan. Carl reached out trying to discuss what I'm doing about his daughter. He says she's just a teenager and she shouldn't pay for his mistakes. I agree that she has no power to keep him from doing bad things, nor to keep him from being a liar. But she's almost 17 next month, and she's very mature, and she's definitely capable of telling right from wrong, and she had zero problems getting stuff and receiving help and favors from me, and was comfortable asking for things. She low-key asked for stuff, and I was happy to help. I'm sure she also benefited from Gabby because it makes sense since I'm under the impression that Gabby was no stranger to her either. I told him, let Gabby do it, and he tried to complain about how Gabby vandalized their website. She took their page down and all it shows is a black screen. He says she locked him out of all the logins and supposedly had all her contacts block him. Update. I reached out to Gabby via social media and she replied. I explained my position and that I didn't know about her, hence I was very rude and reacted with hostility. She says that initially, he told her that we were in an open relationship that was about to end. They were talking for months before they began their relationship. She says he first introduced his kid, then his younger brother, and that she met his mom when Carl invited her for lunch and had his mom show up without telling her. Also, she said that his mom was less than friendly and that his mother made a small scene because she decided to pick up a fight with her boyfriend. There's no way that she's making this up. MIL treated that guy like shitty. About his daughter. Carl used to visit Gabby on some weekends and would leave his kid at Gabby's place because they bonded over DIY projects. Now I know where his daughter got her fairy, witchy, fantasy, and elf polymer clay jewelry and hair accessories from. So I guess his working on weekend gigs was a lie. She said they became a couple about a month or 2 after starting their company because she wouldn't accept an open relationship. Gabby mentioned that her dad fucking hates him and that things began to get rough because of things he did, and her dad noticed. She says she and her dad and other family members always meet for Saturday dinner or Sunday brunch at a particular restaurant, and that her dad noticed how she always paid for Carl and his kid, and if Carl ever paid for his food, he didn't pay for hers. She said her dad called her out because her dad would usually pay for everyone, and that he was getting very uncomfortable about Carl, and that he paid for Carl to avoid making a scene but that he was fed up. So her dad told Carl he expected to be treated for a change when they arrived at the restaurant, and that Carl was very offended, and later told her that her dad's remark was a put down. She also said that her best friend raised concerns about him, and that everything started to crumble because he didn't attend her family's Xmas lunch as he promised, and that he remained a bit low-key during the holidays and claimed to have influenza. He used both of us, but he took far more advantage of her because she made material things available. While I don't know her except for this situation, her messages show that she's very affected but mostly angry, and I wouldn't be surprised if she ended up destroying him. I didn't know that Carl didn't get an MBA like he told me. He never worked 2 jobs that he told me about and also put in his resume. She found out because she paid for background checks and other tools when things started not adding up. Supposedly, this was part of why she started testing his abilities and had been thinking about pulling the plug business-wise. She says it's all bullshit and that he's very insecure about his social standing. She told me a lot of stuff, but in a nutshell, I'm going to get tested for STDs and already told my family what happened. I'm leaving it at that because writing about it really irritates me for being stupid enough to believe him.